All right, y'all. It's that time, guys. It's that time to talk about a new Marvel movie. Man, it feels like it comes around all the time these days, don't it? Between shows and movies, we're talking Marvel a lot, almost every single show. But guys, we're here today to talk specifically the Marvel spoilers, and probably about 10% of this stream is going to be non-spoilers. So I will warn you now, if you have not seen the Marvels yet, you're going to want to go ahead and mute or go watch the Marvels, come on back on the replay and weigh in, because guys, we got to talk about this, because just a little brief spoiler on what I thought, y'all. I enjoyed the Marvels. I thought it was a lot of fun. I can't wait to get into it with my guest today. But first of all, I got my man, the editor of the Cinema Spot, critic over at the Cinema Spot, and co-host of Geekly Goods Roundup, my man Loretto, Marcellus Durden on Twitter. What's up, baby? How are you?
Oh, this is the mood, baby. This is the mood. And really,
over here, y'all.
Everybody on the internet needs to lighten up.
I'm trying to find your sound effect.
Internet needs to lighten up. Have some fun. Life's too short. Smile.
Smile, man. We're going to smile about the Marvels today, guys. But we also have another special guest. This isn't her first time on the channel, but it's good to have her back. She's the president of the PR Critics and co-host of Film Talk, Ileana Melendez. What's going on? How are you?
Hi. I love that intro. How y'all doing?
We good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to talk about this movie because I had a really good time. I was that annoying audience member in the movie theater. I really was. I have to admit. I was howling.
Oh, she was one of them like just ready to go, loving it, huh?
I was living it up. I was living.
Eating, man. Me too. Especially, let me tell you guys, when I got to the actual, because I went to the critic screening early in the week and I went to a screening on Thursday. I was like, listen, the fans were loving it. They were eating it up. So
good.
We're in
That's who it's for.
Yeah. Like it's just for, and I do want to preface that by saying critics can be fans too. Five Nights at Freddy's kind of had people divided. I'm like, no, we can be fans as well. But we got quite a few people in the house. What's going on, Mr. Crockpot? What's up, dude? We've got AJ Aeronaut is in the house.
What up, AJ?
What's up, AJ? I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I'm going to think it's Prithvi. Thank you so much for coming. Skyfall0924. What's up? And TJK. It's good to see you guys. G. Colby in the house. We're going to roll right into it, guys, and feel free to join us down in the comments because we're going to be talking the Marvels. Like I said, about 10% non-spoiler and the rest spoiler. But let's start with some of the non-spoiler stuff, guys. We're going to roll right into how we felt about the MCU before the Marvels and talk a little bit about some of the hate, the targeted hate on this one. Lots of that. So we got to talk a little bit about the pre-Marvels and how we felt about the MCU. And I'm actually going to go to you first, Ileana, because I know that you didn't really like Guardians 3. Let us know a little bit
I
about
drank
your
the hater
about
aid.
the
I drank
Marvels.
the hater
While I
on
have my
Guard.
poster behind me.
So I had to.
But
Let us know.
again, dude, I think I've talked about it before on this show. I don't I don't remember when, but I went in thinking I was gonna love it. I went in super pumped, super stoked, thinking I was gonna love the Guardians, and just left crushed. Just really devastated that I just did not enjoy it as much as everybody else. I think that was the biggest disappointment. Not even the movie itself, just the fact that it just didn't live up to the hype for me. So that's how I was feeling about the MCU. I mean, it's not like we've had the creme de la creme this year either. We had Ant-Man Quantumania before that. Loki at least is coming in hot on we're so back with the MCU, but again, the MCU right now is that toxic boyfriend. Sometimes we're good, sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's cold, and I think right now we're in a good we're having a good moment because Loki, I have to catch up, but I know the Marvels has brought me a little bit of hope again. I have a little bit of faith because before that it was looking a little rough, buddy.
I can understand because I did like Guardians 3, but Quantumania was rough. Secret Invasion, y'all, I was so invested in that show.
I didn't finish it.
Don't.
I saw 2 episodes and I was like, I've had enough. Thank you. That's enough for today.
So see, I liked the first 2 episodes and then it moved on to like the rest, and I was like, "Woo."
Yeah, I was gonna keep up, but then I kept seeing like clips of it on Twitter. And I was like, it's a bit much, mate. It's a bit much.
No.
I just didn't care for how I think episode 2 ended. I don't remember it. Like that ending of wow. Can I spoil? Who dies in the very first
Go
episode?
ahead. We're far.
They killed
past
off Maria for shits and giggles, and I was like,
I was pissed.
I was like, for what?
Pissed.
For what?
And
had to create
spoiler,
stakes.
Too much.
Spoiler,
Stakes.
she's not even like mentioned in this movie at all. So
Maria
you're gonna be
got
seeing Fury
blipped
walking
from the
around.
lore, period.
Right. You're gonna see Fury walking around with no Maria, and you're like, well, wait, that's like his right hand. Like, nope, gone. No Talos.
Like nothing.
Secret Invasion.
No
was a
grief.
mess.
Nothing.
Nothing. Where the heck is his wife even? But you know what? We can save that for a question.
Marvel has no love for Robin Schabotsky. I swear.
I mean, I'm
It's a
like,
bit
yo.
They blipped her too. She got blipped.
So she just
There's
gets
a lot of hate
out
on that
the
character, and
universe.
it's not a bad character.
No,
Like she's an OG. Like why? I don't know. I feel like it could have been done better, and I think Secret Invasion was I was hopeful that it was going to be like that kind of espionage type spy thriller that it was, advertising itself to be, and that it wasn't. So I don't know. I was pretty bummed. I'm not gonna lie. So the MCU for the majority of this year and like last year, it's been a lot of ups and downs, more downs than ups, unfortunately.
Yeah, this was a good comment here from G. Colby. He was like, MCU's dead, Quantumania, Guardians 3, it's back, Secret Invasion, MCU's
it's a
dead.
toxic relationship. We deserve better. We need to move on. We need to stop texting him back.
Well, no, I'm texting back because I'm loving the MCU
back.
still.
You're like, where you at? What
I'm
you
like,
doing?
listen.
You're like, I've never seen the MCU again.
It's a
Deadpool 3
well-being
trailer.
It's a well-being text. It's just, are you okay?
Are you good? Oh my god, yeah. That's how I feel about it. That's it's be like that.
Lo, let us know, man. How were you feeling about the MCU before the Marvels, and what were your thoughts about some of that toxicity coming in?
I mean, as you guys can tell, I am a somewhat modest fan. I'll be honest, I was kind of like, okay, I was excited for the Marvels, but like, to be honest, my MCU headspace was kind of a mixed bag. Like, I did not like Quantumania. Really, really didn't enjoy it. And I actually loved Guardians 3. I saw it like 4 times. I was crying like a baby. I was just totally into it. It's like in my top 5 of the year for sure.
Let's go.
And then of course, like Secret Invasion, like I actually didn't mind the first 2 episodes. I thought it was intriguing. I didn't like that they killed Maria, but I in my opinion, okay, they were trying to add some drama and make some stakes, but to Ileana's point, it did feel kind of like pointless. Like they killed her just to kill her, just to make us feel something. It didn't feel like there was enough weight to it. And what makes it worse is it feels like not only did she die for nothing, but like we like she was saying, we forgot about her already. Like
Yeah.
we have moved on. And it's like, dude, Maria Hill was in the first 2 Avengers. Like she's one of the prominent members of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like that was kind of like really. But I'm also an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. defender. So what do I know? I'm just like I'm just an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. shill over
And
here.
and I think that's valid.
But ultimately, yeah, Loki. I love Loki, but really, I was kind of just not sure what we were gonna get. Obviously, there's a lot of mixed reviews, and I take those with a grain of salt. But the fact that it was being so divisive, I was like, oh, here we go, Eternals Part 2. Oh my god, I hate this era. Like that was my feeling before I sat down, but it changed.
We're up again.
We're up.
We're
We're
up,
back
y'all.
on the uphill.
We're back. We're going uphill again.
I'm 100% with you, Loretto. Man, it's like the first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion, I was like, we're in for some good eating. Like, I thought that the setup was awesome. Of course, I hated that Maria Hill was killed, but I'm going to be real with you guys. I was like, all right, she's not really dead, right? Like, I didn't think they were actually going to, like, pull that trigger and keep it pulled, and here we are. Same with Talos. I guess I just thought these people would miraculously come back, and they didn't.
That was the one that broke me, bro. I was like,
dude.
I can't. That pissed me
I
off.
think
so
both
bad.
of them hurt me a little bit because I'm like, Maria Hill? Like y'all was saying, she's like one of the OG, like day one Nick Fury people. She's been involved with S.H.I.E.L.D. since we've seen S.H.I.E.L.D. on screen. So I'm like, man, to just have her like capped off in a side series that's not even mentioned.
Yeah.
A little bit of disrespect to the character.
Yeah, I think it's the lack of respect to the character and to her impact in the MCU, because she's always the one that kind of shows up to the rescue, even in like fucking Winter Soldier and the Civil War. So to just kind of sideline her completely, and not just her, but what she, I guess, represents, which is like that original MCU. At least if you're going to kill her off, because I believe in stakes, I believe in consequences, and I don't think there's anything wrong with killing off beloved characters. I think Star-Lord should have been killed off and it would have meant more. But that's just how I feel about it.
And
Listen,
also
y'all,
regarding Talos,
like,
like,
emotional, right?
like Ben Mendelsohn is such a good actor, and he was like probably the best part of the first Captain Marvel, if not
For
the
sure.
best part. And it's like we literally had no journey with him. We were kind of getting into it with the show, and I just felt like that was such a massive
Waste.
like disappointing. Like, why did we lose this character this soon? Like, he was such a good character to lose that quickly. So
yeah, way too quick up with that character. And I'm like, okay, I'm going into Quantum Mania thinking Scott's dead, y'all. Like, there's no way he's making it out of this movie, right? We got King the Conqueror showing up.
It's his last movie too.
And here we are, like, he just made it out. Like, no big deal. There's a little bit of weird stuff going on in the end, but no problem. Like, we all made it out. So the stakes just don't feel that high.
What was the speculation on that ending, that he's like in another reality or something?
Yeah, so it's another universe is the speculation, but no confirmation yet. We'll see what happens.
And at that point, like, so many years pass, like, you just kind of like, who cares? Kind of a moment.
You know, it's interesting that you brought that up, Leo, the fact that we thought Scott was going to die. And then, for example, in Secret Invasion, they insert all of these stakes of these like deaths to like make us feel more intrigued. But it's like, why would they? It's like they're investing too much into the show, and half the people didn't even finish the show. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. Like,
my confusion is, did they actually kill off Martin Freeman's character, or was he a Skrull?
Oh no, he was in one of those pods, which I found.
That's right. Yeah.
Of all the ones they saved, like, I like him, but I was like, damn, I'm not gonna lie, I would have took Maria over you, bro. Like,
he's that guy. He's that token white dude in Black Panther. We can get rid of him. If it means we can get Maria Hill back, get rid of him. I don't mind.
Oh my god!
Like,
too much.
If he was the one that got popped, and it was like, okay, him, okay, then that's
We'll
like
say
a big
goodbye
enough
to
character, I
Watson.
think. But we got Secret Invasion was rough. Yeah, very rough. Hey, what's going on, Marvel Latin News? Shout out to you.
Hola, Anthony. He's also a member of the board at the Puerto Rico Critics Association.
Welcome. Good to see you again.
Dives made a good point too.
What? Here we go. Recent MCU has been incredibly diluted. Completely lost its focus. So I'm gonna be real with y'all. Allow me to kindly disagree. I think Phase 4 was a after period of the first 3 phases, and there was a brief period there to catch back up with these characters. I think they did build up quite a bit, and I think the shows did get oversaturating later on, but I think the initial Phase 4 run was pretty awesome. We got Shang-Chi out of it, we got WandaVision, Miss Marvel out of it, Black Panther 2 was awesome.
Stuff.
I loved Eternals.
I love Eternals.
There was good stuff.
Eternals is fantastic.
I love Eternals. Like,
so glad to be with my people, man. I love Eternals.
This is a safe space for Eternals apologists.
We're here, baby. We're here.
We're here. We're out here. There's more of us than you think. Okay. And they're coming out of the woodwork. And you know what? They are the same. People who are liking Eternals now, I see you. I was there when it happened with The Last Jedi. I see you.
Carly Eternals Hive. Let's go.
Let's go.
But I think, to that point, Leo, I think the sentiment, right? I think 4 is better than people realize, but it's just a little scattered. And I think the ones that people don't like, it makes them feel like it affects them more than the ones that they did. Like, if that makes sense. Like, because like Phase 4, like you said, there's a lot of good things in it, but also there's a lot of people that hated Multiverse of Madness or didn't enjoy Wakanda Forever or hated Eternals. Right. So those things like permeate in their brain. They're like, oh my God, the MCU sucks right now. But it's like they're focusing on the one movie they hated or the one movie that just didn't hit for them or whatever. So,
and the reason for that is there's so many superhero movies now. You can't mess up.
Yeah,
you can't mess up with the Batman coming out and with Invincible and Gen V coming out on TV. You just can't afford to mess up in a saturated market now. You're in a crowded marketplace, and with more competition comes less fuck ups, or has to. Otherwise, you'll be out of the equation.
You would think the standard, the standard of quality, the bar would be set a little higher, and I think Marvel just kind of leaned on its place as a superhero film leader for a little too long. I think Kevin Feige got a little comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. He got a little comfy. He got cocky, and then yes, AJ, me too. Homophobic.
The bane of AJ's existence is Love and Thunder. Goodness gracious.
And you know what? It was supposed to be my palate cleanser after Multiverse of Madness, and I was betrayed once again.
Nice. She got musical on us. Oh, I love it,
dude. I was, again, homophobic. It should have been gayer. That's
you know what? I can agree with you there, but I
could have been gayer.
I Love and Thunder, y'all.
I like what I tried to do. Didn't do it.
I like Jane as Thor. I thought she was pretty.
I think she's fantastic. I needed more of Jane. I needed more of Jane. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we needed less goats. We needed more Valkyrie and Jane hanging out. Like Valkyrie and Jane was cool. Like I liked their vibe.
Valkyrie and Jane saved the movie, and they were trying so hard to save the movie.
Jamming out to Mary J. Blige,
Okay, that was fire. But speaking of Valkyrie, she was in the most recent movie here that the stream is based on, The Marvels. Let's talk about some initial thoughts on Marvel's latest installment, guys, because I think we're all in consensus. It's pretty good. We had a good time. Lo, I'm going to start with you, man. How'd you feel about The Marvels? Just give us your overall non-spoilery thoughts, and then we'll dive into spoilers a little bit.
Yeah. So, less details, more emotive, I was laughing. I had a great time. I'll admit though, it did get a little bit goofy in a sense. Like there was like a moment midway where I was like, yo, this is just really like diving into the silliness, but not in a manner that made me dislike it. I just noticed, I was like, wow, it's like really, really heavy-handed.
You talk about the Singing Planet.
How was it?
You're talking about the singing planet?
I mean,
no spoilers.
Hey, I was gonna say,
No
hey, look,
spoilers, my guy.
I didn't mind that, but I felt that before that happened. Like, it was a lot of it was dialogue heavy too. Like some of the stuff that like Fury was saying, I was like, yo, he's just like funny uncle today, right? Like, damn, he
What
is
was
not.
that he said to Carol? He said something like, "We don't touch shit" or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, stop touching shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Lesson learned today: we don't.
He
touch
was like,
shit.
if you
I
see
was like,
some
"Oh,
weird,
okay."
he said something like, you see something weird and glowy, don't touch that shit. Something like that. Like,
I have my counter argument with that.
Okay. Well, but you know, I had a good time. I had a good time, and I'll say this: the post credit scene was one of the best in a long time. I almost jumped out of my chair, and we'll get into that. I was like
rolling down
the step, heaving breaths. I just couldn't control myself. I was running around the theater like the guy in the meme, like, oh, like I couldn't, guys. I was so happy, so excited. So we'll get into that.
Now I cannot get the image out of my head of Lo just like tumbling down the theater. He's that excited.
just really Peter Griffin, just slapstick, just keeps rolling down the stairs.
Lo, I'm like picturing when we were at Barbie together, you just like rolling down and excitement. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
What's going on, Mark Show? What's up,
up?
man? Good to see you.
Hi. Oh my god. But yeah.
Yeah,
my
so
turn?
it is your turn. Overall
Okay.
thoughts on the Marvels?
Non-spoiler. I think for me at least, the silliness and let's talk about transitions, baby. Let's talk about how she took Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk, or Hulk, just plain Hulk, and made it good. She said, I'm going to make it look like a comic and feel like a comic book, and without like taking away from its emotional moments, but some of them don't land, unfortunately. But overall, the chemistry off the walls, banger. The comedy, banger, had me howling. The pacing, a little rushed, but you know what? There was never a boring moment for me. There was never a lull. It kept me on my toes, and honestly, it breezed on by for me. I think it deserved a little more screen time, but it was better to have it a little shorter than a little longer, if you feel me. Because if it was loaded screen time, it would have just destroyed the movie.
What's interesting is it didn't feel short, because that's what I was worried about. It didn't feel
because it just feels right. It's like the right amount of screen time and pacing that we do have breathers from all the action, because it is a very action-packed first act. Like there was a minute there where I was like, holy crap, when am I gonna like take a second? Because it's incredible. Because it made me, I hadn't felt that way with a movie, especially a superhero movie, since Birds of Prey. And Birds of Prey is like my top 4 on Letterboxd. So
overall, or just like superhero?
Top 4.
Overall.
Top 4.
Okay.
I don't fuck around with Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey is my like, I'm not even guilty about it. It is my pleasure movie. It is just my movie. I think I wouldn't change a thing about it. Truly. I think Kathy Ann just kicked it out of the park, and Nia DaCosta really just brought me back to that, brought me back to what superhero movies could feel like. And I hope that they give her a chance to really flesh it out and do more, because I think she did a great job.
Yeah, it made me feel a sense of style in the MCU again, like the different shots that she used, like these cool rollover shots she was using, and the
100%.
transitions, and it really had her voice on it. And I think especially in the moments on the ship where the three of them are interacting, you could really see that Nia DaCosta come to life. Yes. You know, I felt that these were moments that we didn't get enough of in Captain Marvel. I was like, I wanted 100%. A little bit more of that vulnerability from Carol's side, especially. And I loved that they gave Carol a character arc. Like here, we actually see her from beginning to end make a change and a shift.
Because it's still her movie.
Character. Yes. And I'm like, okay, I feel it this time as opposed to Captain Marvel, which, by the way, guys, I recently rewatched and really liked this watch around, but
Not a
I
bad
would
movie.
say it's not as good in my opinion as the Marvels. I thought the Marvels was a little bit of a step up, and I think that was one of their shining moments is bringing Carol into that forefront more, and that's a big problem I have with the MCU as a whole. But man, the Marvels, lots of fun, guys. I'm gonna be real with you. I like the goofy stuff. I think they should have leaned more into the goofy stuff a little bit. I was like, listen, we got the Flirkin cat scene and we got all these funny, goofy tonal shifts. I kind of like that. I was like, give us that goofy, silly, give us that stuff. Because we do have
Make it
Miss
funky.
Marvel involved. We do have, I'm glad it gave it that a little bit of that goofiness, because I think that might be what hurt Captain Marvel a little, is the too serious, sometimes too stoic. But I felt like Carol just had more here. There was more to work with the character. It's goofier, it's funnier, it's lighter. I liked it. Didn't really like Dar-Benn, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, overall, really fun, guys. How do we feel? I guess, you know what? I'm just going to kind of loop these questions together. How do we feel about the introduction to Monica and Kamala in the movie? And then do viewers need to view any material besides Captain Marvel 2019 to come into this one, do you think? I'm going to go to you first, Ileana. Do you think people need it? And how did you feel about the introduction of
This is where my
TV
science
show
experiment
characters?
comes in.
Okay.
Okay.
The experiment. We had it. Let's go.
So I have two subjects. I have my boyfriend, my partner, and my friend Juan, who's from Film Posers. I went to the screening with them, and neither one of them had seen the Marvels. They'd seen Captain Marvel, but they had not seen the Marvels. They'd not seen any like accompanying materials.
Also, no Miss Marvel, no
Miss
WandaVision.
Marvel, nada,
Okay.
nada. I think Juan has seen. I'm pretty sure Juan has seen WandaVision, but my boyfriend has not. Like none of that, nothing. So naturally, they were like, am I gonna understand this movie? And I'm like, you absolutely will. If there's anything, like this was before it even started, but you know, from what I saw from the trailers, I'm like, it'll be fine, you know. And lo and behold, first act in the movie, it picks up like with the same scene of when Miss Marvel ends. So you're fine. So it's not necessary. You still get a sense of the plot. Everything is explained relatively simply. It's not that complicated to hang on to. I think what watching the Marvels and WandaVision do is enrich the characters for you, because then it's not your first time watching Kamala or seeing Monica. It's not your first time seeing Kamala's family dynamic and her parents and her brother and all of that. And not that it takes away from their impact in the movie, because I thought they were phenomenal once again, because they're also very well cast. I love them so much. I think they're the best part of the show and one of the best parts of this movie. And it, again, if you want to feel even more enriched watching the Marvels, then watch the series. If not, you're fine. You're still going to understand it. You're still going to have a great time with it. And you're still going to get a sense of these characters and who they are, because Nia DaCosta treated them like, again, this is their first time on screen for a lot of people. And I think she handled it really well.
Yeah. And to that point of her handling it very well, we had Monica in the first movie, and I think she reincorporates that story very well, especially with the tension, the very clear tension between Monica and Carol. Monica not even wanting to barely speak to her over the phone. I mean, we see that the tension and the loss of time that they would have had together is there. So I love that she really established that tension, because it'd be a little unrealistic if Carol just kind of like walked back in. She said at the end of Captain Marvel, when she last saw Monica, "Oh, I'll see you again. Like, you know, I'll be back soon. No problem." I'm like, okay, 30 years later. So it's like, all right, you know, that tension was really well fleshed out, I thought. Lo, how do you feel, man? Do you think people need to view previous materials aside from the first Captain Marvel? And then how do you feel about the introduction of Monica and Kamala in the movie?
So yes and no. And I'll break it down. So regarding Kamala, the introduction was brilliant. I loved how Nia like tied in the vibe of the show. We see like her little doodles, her little daydreams. We had that little like notebook sequence where she's like acting out her dream fantasy with Captain Marvel and doing the dialogue. That was awesome. Like, it's like,
so good.
That's so fun. But what I like about that is if you've never seen Miss Marvel and you want more of that, you can go on Disney Plus and do that. But also you kind of understand who she is right away. She's a young teenage girl who idolizes Captain Marvel, obviously. Her family is a little bit overbearing, but they're lovable. And you get all that within the first 10, 15 minutes. And I think that's awesome. However, with Monica, I'm gonna be honest, I feel like Tiana Pierce does a good job in the Marvels, like playing the character and doing what's asked of her. But I feel like if you haven't seen WandaVision, if you didn't see her freaking out in the hospital after she got blipped, I feel like that is a part of her character that's essential. And it's I hate to tell people like, oh my god, if you haven't seen WandaVision, just watch that one episode. But it's like, for Monica at least, like if you want to understand her better, if you liked her and you want to see more of her, you have to see that scene where she gets blipped back into the hospital and she's looking for her mom, because that makes
we do get a flashback, don't we? Though.
There's a clip from.
We do get a flashback to that scene, not the whole scene, but we get a little bit of the scene.
From WandaVision.
But I agree. I understand where you're coming from, though. It does, again, enrich her character.
We looked back a little bit, but I feel like unless you really lived in that scene, like you don't feel it with her as much. And I also feel like her introduction was a little bit not quite as strong. Like we get who she is, we get that, she's Maria Rambeau's daughter, but the film just only tells us that. And if you haven't seen Captain Marvel of all things, you'd be completely lost on who Monica is.
Oh, well, no,
period.
for
sure. So I think like her introduction was a little bit not quite as strong, but there is some things I liked about what they did with her character that I'll get into later. But absolutely don't have to watch Miss Marvel. If you liked Kamala, you can watch it afterwards. But yeah, I feel like Monica, you definitely need some homework a little bit, in my opinion.
So I think I actually love that, Loretto, because I'm actually the opposite. Now I think that Kamala's intro and integration in this movie is actually really good. I don't necessarily think you have to watch Miss Marvel, but I would recommend at least getting an episode or two just to get a feel for that character. And especially if you can just watch the first and second episode, I think that's the perfect snapshot before going into this. You watch Captain Marvel, maybe that episode of WandaVision. I know it's kind of skipping through some stuff, so I understand being apprehensive about suggesting that one. So I'll leave that one off, but I would suggest Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel episode 1 at least. Then you just get a little context, because Captain Marvel, you get to see who Monica is. So we get Monica introduced in that movie. Then she's an adult. I feel like you could step into that pretty easily, but that's just me. I think.
You know what else,
I had to
Leo?
I would suggest Miss Marvel.
When Monica blips back, it's literally the first 5 minutes of that episode. So they don't have to watch all of WandaVision to get that. So
maybe throw that on the list then, baby. Hit that episode, WandaVision episode 5 or something.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of like
5.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it starts. Yeah. Man, remember when WandaVision was coming out week by week?
And we were so excited.
What a time.
Remember that?
What an era.
We're talking about Mephisto. What a couple of fools.
The ant on the wall is Mephisto. Oh my goodness. That stone on the
Matt
ground.
Shankman was like, who's Mephisto? They're like, why are people talking about him?
Okay, somebody asked the question, who's our favorite Marvels? Who's our favorite member?
Ooh.
And I kind of feel like we might all have the same answer, but Lo, just real quick, who's your favorite Marvel?
Oh man, put me on the spot. Monica.
I'll go first. Kamala for me. I mean,
okay.
I love Spider-Man.
Baby.
They've got the same
Kamala's
kind of
my baby girl.
characteristics.
Kamala is baby girl.
I think that's why I feel the way
and
I
the
do.
family too.
Yeah, I'm Team Monica. I think that's why I feel like she didn't get enough for me.
Fair.
I feel that. And you know what? I feel that's why I actually like Monica making the sacrifice at the end and then bestowing the powers onto Monica, because I was like, finally, she kind of gets a moment to shine here and save the day, which I was like, thank you, Nia DaCosta, making the black one save the day. I love you.
Black girl magic.
So I was like, yes.
Hold up.
To see it.
Now that she mentioned it, really quick, Leo, how did you feel about that comment?
The black girl magic when Fury said that, I just chuckled. I didn't think it was bad.
Okay, look, coming from Fury,
funny.
I mean, sure, but I don't know. It hit weird for me. I was like,
okay.
So
I
was
like, think about it. Think about it. What other black character has Nick Fury been able to interact with in the entirety of the MCU,
Rhodey?
other than Captain America, other than Rhodey?
Well, that's
it's
true.
Not a lot.
No, to Eliana's point, most of the black characters aren't magical. They just have like Falcon has his armor, black
None
like
of them have powers. Yeah.
yeah.
They're not
T'Chaka had
advanced.
the blue herb, the purple herb, the
Yeah,
heart shaped
yeah.
herb, but wasn't really magical. So
Yeah,
No,
man.
I think it was sweet because it kind of showed us that Nick, because clearly, especially since Monica was able to start working up in space because of her powers, she's clearly been working closely with Nick Fury. So they,
for sure.
I took it as a sense of they grew close and they have that confidence with each other and that rapport because, you know, we know. It's like me when I see another Puerto Rican across the room.
So
we know we are on a
yeah, because it's like when he was like, "Come on, girl, black girl magic." It wasn't like
exactly.
it wasn't
felt
derogatory.
right.
It was like, yeah, you would say that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I
felt
kind of
right.
like Nick Fury in this movie because I'm like, I feel like we see Fury in such a different light in these Captain Marvel movies, and I understand that it feels changing for the character, but it's like it's Fury when he's comfortable with people. And we see
Yeah.
that at the very start of that side of Nick Fury when he sees the cat. I mean, the moment he sees it in Captain Marvel, he's just like loving on it. He's like, "Oh, come here, you little cutie, little
Nick
thing."
Fury
But, like,
is a
I'm
teddy
like,
bear.
Yeah,
You just have
he's a
to, you
softie.
know, you have
Yeah.
to get there
so like he said it like playfully in a loving manner, yeah, so to speak.
for sure.
Exactly.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He,
All right,
he
guys.
wanted nothing but the best for Monica. He wanted her to fly, and fly she did.
And she flew, whatever.
She flew.
I was like, what am I trying to say? She flowed. But let's talk about the three lead actresses here: Brie Larson, Iman Vellani, and Tiana Paris. How did they do, guys? Because I think the scenes with the three of them getting to talk, getting to interact, getting to use their powers together, the best part of the movie to me. And I was like, man, if we put any more into the movie, I would have just gave it to those three. I would have just let those three just cook on screen together, be on screen interacting in some way. There's little pieces and moments between Kamala too and Carol where she might realize like maybe idolizing Carol is not the best thing.
Don't meet your
I
heroes.
love it. Man, that moment right there, I was like,
Tough. Oh,
That-
dude, I
that's a
teared up a
banger.
few times with this movie. This movie, it got me going. It got me going. I think those are the moments that I really wish that we were allowed to breathe because it
Yeah.
does have a lot of emotional points that were very well earned, but
Mhm.
we breezed like it died in the cutting room floor. It really did. I really wish that they would have given us a little bit more time to like live in that, you know, emotional moment with these characters.
Yeah.
And like I think somebody in the chat was mentioning, and I totally agree, like Carol and Monica's relationship was resolved really quickly. Like I understand. I understand, you know, you have a goal here to do within an hour and a half, less than 2 hours, but I understand Monica's pain because she was basically, there we go. I understand Monica's pain because she was basically abandoned by this other parental figure that she also idolized in a sense, like Kamala, but she was just completely, what's the word? You know, she was cynical because of life circumstances, everything that life has thrown at her, and super understandably so. So, and I really like that we got a very good and justified reason of why Carol was too afraid to come back to Earth for 30 years, because I feel like everyone just kind of accepted that across the MCU. Like, oh yeah, you know, Captain Marvel just never comes back. Like she's always gone just for no reason. And I don't know, it was really good. We have all the juicy parts. It's just we didn't let it marinate. It just didn't marinate as well as it could have.
Yeah, I think I can agree with you there. We needed a little bit more airtime for the three of them, especially that built-up chemistry that they gave us. The moments with them that they gave us were awesome, and they humanized Carol a lot.
Beautiful.
I mean, Carol's like up in the space, in the nethers of space, battling Kree and all these other different factions, taking down people. But it was cool to see her come back down to Earth.
Literally. And
so I love that they brought her back down a little bit and like showed us that she made a pretty key mistake in her time as Captain Marvel. So I liked that they gave us a storyline for her to sort of redeem that a bit. And come back from that mistake and learn how to come back from those very integral mistakes. But Loretto, let us know, man. The 3 actresses on screen together in their chemistry, they was cooking, bro.
Oh
What'd you
yeah, absolutely. No, I love them together, and especially like Iman Vellani and Brie. Like they had such a good chemistry. The whole handshake, like, "Hi, I'm Carol Danvers. Hi, I'm Kamala Khan. I'm shaking your hand, Siwon." Like that whole thing was so natural. It was so adorable. And again, I'm super, super like, God, I was so excited to see more Monica. To Ileana's point, like, we could have done with more, but at the same time, Tiana ate with everything they gave her. Like what I
100%.
didn't mention earlier that I want to mention now is like I was fresh off watching Captain Marvel before I went in. I really wanted it fresh in my brain so I can kind of just compare the arcs and follow the story. And it's cool that Tiana played it like when the second Captain Marvel enters her brain, she became a little girl again. And she like stumbled. She was like, "Oh, Auntie Carol." And she's like stuttering. And then when she had the moment with Brie, like I love that it was brief. Maybe we needed more of it, but I loved how she was just like brutally honest. She was like, "You said you'd be back in a flash," and then like I forgot what Carol said, but she was like, "I hung on every single word that you said," or something like that. And I felt that. I felt that as someone that has had parental figures not follow through on something, and also as a parent myself, like if I somehow disappoint my kid, it's like that is an awful feeling. And I just love the way they played that out in that scene. Again, we probably could have used more of them together, but I thought the moments they had were really, really good.
Really, really good. And the moment that like really got me, and it was a moment in the beginning when they first saw each other, was when she corrected her and told her it's Captain Rambo. Now it was like, oh my God.
Yeah. She's like, "Hey, Lieutenant Trouble."
Punch in the gut.
Yeah. She's like,
and
"Good
Bree's
to see you,
face,
Lieutenant
like,
Trouble." And she just like, "Thanks." And it's Captain Rambo now. I'm like, oh my God. Like, she was like, "Deadbeat mama alert. I'm not letting you back in." I was like,
It
oh
was
my
giving very
goodness.
much that holy shit.
Right.
I was like,
Not the
other mama
deadbeat
left.
mama.
And then that
yeah.
beat
She
on
never
Carol's
came
face for a
back.
second, it was like,
Yeah.
She
just,
said,
like,
she
completely
said,
changed
"Oh,
it.
y'all forgot about my Oscar, huh?"
Listen, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I 100% like. I think that her and Maria were a thing. Like that's kind of like how I follow the
Oh,
story.
yeah.
I 100% think Carol and Maria
probably-
were like dating.
Oh, and they
Yeah,
were
I mean,
roommates.
Marvel was scared to make it so, but I feel that too. I mean, there's no father figure. It's just them two and the daughter.
They're moms.
They're moms. They're both moms.
They were
like-
moms
They're moms.
together, and you know what really like had me gagged was when the flashback to Maria when she was sick again. She was telling you realize, wait, Carol came back to Earth and just never told Monica.
Yeah, that's
She
crazy.
did come back. She did come back. She just was
That's
too much of a
right.
coward to face her and face the music. Can you hear
That's-
the
I
music,
love-
Carol?
Yeah. Hey, no, that's brilliant. I actually forgot about that. Yeah, and it
Yeah, I was
she
like,
she avoided Monica. She
God.
wasn't trying to
She
deal with
avoided
it,
her like the
but she
plague.
came back for the love of her life.
And
The
they were
love of her life
roommates.
was ill, so she came back. Like
and didn't say
Man.
nothing to my.
she didn't say nothing
Deadbeat
to
mama.
Monica.
Deadbeat mama.
Oh, wait, wasn't Monica blipped? I
Oh,
think
you're
she
right.
blipped during
No,
that
okay,
moment.
Was she
right.
blipped
No,
in
you're
that
right.
moment?
No, she
Yeah, I
was.
think
She
she was
was.
blipped.
Oh my god, she
I think that
was.
was the
Okay,
No,
5
we're
years
talking
Maria
shit.
says it.
But
She was-
still,
Yeah,
still,
but still, you could
She
come
went
back
back
that
to Earth.
quickly, and you ain't.
uh-huh.
You can't
She
drop
came back
by
too late.
every other weekend type of deal. Once a month, once every couple months,
Or like if you have no time, once in a year.
a year. We asking one time, can't you blow back down to earth for a couple seconds?
The
know what I
audacity.
mean? How many years
I
has
mean,
it
if
been?
if these fellas in that what is it, that Vipers episode in Black Mirror can do it once a year, I think Carol can do it once a
Oh
year.
my god, I love Black Mirror. Oh,
Was it
that
Striking
show.
Vipers?
The
What an
Striking
episode.
Vipers.
Oh my god.
Them guys. I was
Them
like,
fellas.
y'all cooking. That's for sure.
Hey, hold up. Hey, the chat is cooking right now. I ship it. I mean, look at
Of
AJ's
course.
comment.
Oh,
Look
okay.
at
We all
Kobe's
know her
comment.
and Valkyrie are things.
Yes,
We
yeah,
know.
I
Wait,
Showed up
think
in
it-
that school. I
That's
was like,
true. That's true. Oh
Hey,
my
she was
God.
giving her the googly eyes, man.
No,
I was like,
Please
yes.
pull up AJ's comment. Please pull up. There
Yeah.
it is.
we know Carol's
That's
type.
true.
She got her a type,
don't-
okay? And it don't matter. She got all
Carol
ranges
loves
of
flavor.
chocolate. Look at Maria. Look at Valkyrie. I was like, oh, she likes all shades. Okay.
No, and let's
Carol?
talk about that Valkyrie scene for a second here. Okay, hold on. Because that's what I wanted in Love and Thunder. Like,
come on.
I don't know. Did I hallucinate? No. Did I hallucinate the assumption that the story, when they announced Love and Thunder, like way back when, before the pandemic, that the plot was King Valkyrie is looking for a queen? Did I hallucinate that? Was that just like a Stockholm Syndrome moment? There was a rumor when that was announced that apparently that movie was supposed to be more of a rom-com between Valkyrie and another woman, and then it wasn't.
Hmm.
And
If
that's
it was,
that
there was
moment in the
concept, it
Marvels.
probably.
Man,
But yeah,
that
it
moment in the
probably got
Marvels is what
cut,
I
yeah.
wanted from Love and Thunder. 100%.
And also
Yes.
to
As
showed up.
brief as it was.
to speak on that too, I feel like that was probably one of the best uses of a cameo in a long time.
Yes,
Like,
it made sense.
it made sense. It was short. It was sweet, and I don't know. For
and
me,
now
it
we
was
know
like,
why the scrolls were in New Asgard in
That
Love
was
and Thunder.
awesome. That was like, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I loved
It was
her
great.
showing up, y'all. She had so much presence. She had the suit on. I was like, okay, Valkyrie, you showing up you showing up cleaned up, looking dapper and shit. She looked Carol in the eyes. had that look going.
Carol called. She was like, "Shit," and she's putting on the Dior, coming in for the rescue.
Goodness.
May our next meeting be joyful. Oh, the kiss on the cheek.
Yes.
Man, that is the female vision. That
Yes.
is that's feminine cinema.
Hey, seriously, she was so happy to see her too. I was like, I love
That
this.
rumor's true about King Grafton. That's right. That's right. I love being vindicated. I did not hallucinate that.
You were right. You were right.
Yeah,
It's true about King Valkyrie. Yep.
that was the
all right.
rumor.
Let's talk a little bit about the story though. How do we feel about and I'm gonna just come right out the gate. The Skrull versus Kree war slows these movies down, in my opinion. But we've got that going on. We've got the Darbin trying to re-assimilate the Kree in a way and try to bring resources back to the Kree. And then Carol's
Just committing
mistake
some
with the
light
Kree.
genocide.
Yeah, which I was like, all right. By the way, I was like, anybody could light that sun up, right? We didn't have to do it. But again, we'll talk about that later. How do we feel about just the story, though? Because I'm going to be real with y'all. I think the Kree Skrull War really slows these movies down. I think that maybe it's even Secret Invasion for me, but I'm kind of over the Skrulls. And when I saw that it has such an integral beat in this movie, I was like, all right, well, can we move on from them like as soon as possible? Because it's just, I don't know, that conflict is slowing down the Captain Marvel verse for me. I like what
The
it kind of
Kree have been
insinuated in the
uninteresting
first,
since
but
day one.
yeah. And I
Unfortunately.
saw that coming with them even in the first viewing of Captain Marvel. I was like, let me guess, they kind of tricked her, didn't they? And they did.
Yeah.
And okay,
Yeah.
ever since we're still back with the Kree Skrulls. But then we've got other stuff going on. Of course, the three of them uniting to take on Darbin, which we'll talk about next. Lo, how did you feel about the story, man? Because I know that's one of the big criticisms I'm seeing is kind of all over.
So yeah, I mean, I get why you feel that way, but at the same time, it's like it's such a natural transition from the first film, and also like
Yeah.
the Kree Skrull War. That is hard to say. The Kree Skrull War
Huge
is
in the comics.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's such a prominent thing in the comics. I just felt like it wouldn't be fair to dismiss it completely. But in that same regard, though, Leo, I feel like in this movie in particular, it does completely stop the film in its tracks because it's like two different movies, and they're just pushing this Kree Skrull thing in the middle of it. And oh, by the way, this is
Shoehorn.
Captain Marvel's fault. Like it just kind of like drops that ball on us. So, I like Carol having to deal with those repercussions, but I feel like they could have dealt with it in a different manner. I think the only reason why I didn't mind it was like it was cool seeing that sequence of them trying to save the Skrulls from their imminent destruction, because then we really got to see them be heroes and not just fighting people. Like that was cool. Like that was a really awesome hero moment for the three of them. Like that was really cool, and I loved Kamala's heart in that scene. Like Kamala's whole ass heart was just like, I need to save everybody, and she was like trying to save every single Skrull. I loved that. And so we don't get that scene if we don't establish at least a little bit of that Kree Skrull conflict. So
sorry, my faces. I'm reading the chat.
oh,
This is a pretty good comment here.
Cooking,
No, it's the one after that. It's the one after that.
Oh
Sorry.
my god, the Gaia thing.
No.
Oh, Carol.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
Good points.
real
There are points being
quick.
made.
This was a really good one here. It kind of feels like maybe that stuff is Captain Marvel 2, and then the Dar-Benn stuff might be like Captain Marvel 3. I feel that. I can kind of feel maybe like there's, because I've seen some criticisms that it feels like maybe there's a movie missing somewhere.
Like we just fast forwarded.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm all right with it. I just think for me, the Kree Skrull War sometimes can feel like it just pulls the movie back a little. But you're right, Lo. That the peak moment here was great, but sometimes it just feels, I don't know, too dragged out. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like how
I feel like they try to make it more complex than it is, and then it ends up feeling simple.
And also, Leah, like if you find the Kree like just uninteresting, I totally get that. But I mean, like, I kind of loved how the Marvel Studios made an effort to even just integrate them, because they're also heavily in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show.
Yeah,
like, that's actually part of the reason why Coulson is living in the show. He has freaking Kree blood in him, and so I mean,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
you're like, I'm good. But you know,
no. This is Leo.
And then
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
and then he comes back. He's like, so what were you saying?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait. So what were you saying, Lo? But yeah, no, like, I mean, the Kree is like very much a part of every, even going back to Ronan, and I mean, I get it though if you find them uninteresting, but I mean, it's kind of cool, like seeing them, like, I like the way they're integrated so far. So.
Oh, not Agents are boring.
Damn, AJ, we were like this, man. I lost you on Agents. Come on.
Anybody that want to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I'm gonna just tell you
in the chat.
I'm gonna tell you,
roasted.
Listen, go on over to Daredevil. Sorry, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's okay. It's all right. I still haven't finished
it's
it,
fine.
I stay
it's
in my lane.
It's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste. It's okay.
Yeah.
Listen, it's far better than what they did with that Inhumans. So at least it's much better than that.
We don't talk about that the same way we don't talk about Ba Sing Se, all right?
I guess we don't talk about Bruno either. So
let's talk about the story. This story was rough.
But you know what? Let's talk about Ileana. Give us your thoughts on the story. How did you feel about it? There's kind of a lot going on, and sometimes a little.
I liked that there was some lore. I like that they tried to the whole quantum band thing, that lore, that ancient civilization type of a vibe. It felt very I'm about to out myself as a huge fucking nerd. It felt very much like the Critical Role, like Dungeons and Dragons lore, when there's always like a great ancient civilization that was super into like making these arcane artifacts that are very OP. I liked that we got to like kind of a sense of that with the quantum bands. I did like that it was a way to tie Kamala into the story that made sense. Like, I think it started off really well. I was very intrigued, but once Dar-Benn, and I think it's more Dar-Benn's fault as a character, as like a kind of a poorly written character, rather than the use of the lore, is that we were building up to this basically another Infinity Gauntlet, let's say, because that's how they're kind of hyping it up a little bit. And then all of a sudden, she just kind of do the Wonder Woman, and if she went boom, for what? Like I feel like
Literally.
it was one of those villains that just kind of were so
Wait,
dumb that they
wait, hold
defeated
on.
themselves.
She floats up into the air and explodes. I mean, I'm not.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. When she does like the
Okay.
thing, she's sending resources through the jump point back to her home planet.
But she lifted up into the air and just blew up. I was like, this what
Boring,
the
Leo.
hell?
Leo Loretto.
She was like bringing
All
them
right,
water.
Melinda's sister down there.
She was bringing them water and air. You know,
Just
so they could
committing some
breathe.
light genocide doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
That's
get
pretty
that. I
cool.
get that.
It's a bit
Well, okay,
much.
we'll go
This
into
is
Darby.
smidgen of
Ass. She was ass. It was a bad villain.
Look, Torrin said, Dar who? What's going on, Torrin? Dar
No, I think
who?
it's pronounced Doctor Who.
Listen,
So-
it was
Bad
Doctor
joke.
Nothing in that.
So I kind of liked like the fact that Carol destroyed the Supreme Intelligence and she was mad about that. I thought that part was
Yeah.
okay. But
That's fine.
to your guys' point though, like the way she just is throughout the movie could have been written a lot better, for sure.
Yeah.
She's kind of.
She didn't feel
okay,
threatening.
Here's the bad part of the Goofy, okay? She's kind of like mustache twirly, and it's like, all right,
Yeah.
we get it. You want to bring resources to your planet, but you're doing it by taking over other planets. Like, it's just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, well, we're just
Tired,
gonna
not wired.
bulldoze. Yeah, it's like we're just gonna bulldoze other planets and take their resources. We've seen this villain before. It's nothing
I don't
unique,
know.
nothing new. And I'm gonna be real. I'm sorry. I love you, Tom Hiddleston, but Zah Ashton just was not doing it for me. So I was not really into her performance. I wasn't into the character's writing. Kind of in and out. And I understand that not every villain has to be this memorable, top tier, top of the line villain, but that helps create a stronger narrative. And that's
Mhm.
what this needed. It needed a villain that could mirror
I mean, a more
them well,
conflict.
because what I love about the three protagonists is that we've got three people who fit perfectly together. Actually, we've got one who's got a loving family but is struggling with some self-confidence issues. We've got one who wants to come back to her family, so is so lonely and needs that family. And then we've got one who's kind of isolating family but in the end actually needs it. We've got a trio of three characters who need each other. And we needed a mirror to that, and we didn't really get it. We just got a generic, boring, just watered down villain. And I think Darby, when she's on screen and stuff, it just kind of brings things to a screeching halt. I didn't really care. I'm with you, Ileana. The quantum bands was cool. I was like, okay, we're doing
Yeah.
the quantum band thing. They don't
Felt
really go too much
interesting. Some
too far with
stakes.
it. Yeah. And I was like, they don't really go too far with it. And I'm jumping
While
ahead
they
here. But
teleport.
she floats into the air and explodes. And I was like, okay, all right. Like,
I was gonna
Fine.
say
fine plea.
they could have took a page from Shang-Chi, man. I feel like Wenwu was that perfect example of a villain that was there for that film and that film only, but made his presence felt and was unique and was
Yes.
intriguing. But to your point, yeah, she was pretty bland. She was like C-grade Ronin, if that.
Right. I was like, this is Ronan a step down. And Ronan wasn't good either. I mean, I'm gonna just put it out there.
Am I
wasn't-
tripping? Like she almost had the same like hammer thing as Ronin. I was like,
Yeah, she had the rod.
yeah.
So
It's just great value Ronin, and it's just, did we need that?
ooh,
Did we need that? Great value.
she the great value version of Ronan. And you walk into Walmart and you see her face on the
Yep.
it's just
We
I
don't need
didn't like it.
we don't need to buy Ronin. We got homemade Ronin at home.
see great. Oh no, not the we got McDonald's at home.
We got
But
food
yeah,
at home. Oh god.
it's like
Your plan is basically the same plan.
fucking basically.
This bad plan. I'm gonna make holes. I'm gonna make teleportation holes to bring resources to this planet instead of the go-to, which is take over another planet. I thought that's what she was gonna do. Like, you
She
could
wanted
have.
to rip holes open.
Have you seen Dune, girl?
Like, come on.
For what? I don't know.
I
This is a bit
think
much.
Darben, every time she was on screen, I was like, I don't know, it just brought things to a absolute
Bland.
screeching halt. and we're on these highs with the 3 lead actresses, and we're in this cool chemistry zone with them. They're cooking, and then Dar-Ben's on screen. You're like, damn it, like we got to hear more from this lady who's just like, we're gonna just bulldoze all these planets to get all the resources. It's like, okay, wasn't Ronan the same thing basically? Like it's boring, it's ununique, not memorable. I was wanting like hella vibes. Like I was like, give us that like presence, give us that memorability, give us that performance. She wasn't menacing. Drama. She didn't give us none of that. So I'm sorry, Zaw Ashton. I just gotta say, acting wise, it wasn't quite there for me either. Because if you can Kate Blanchett your way into this situation, okay,
I was thinking exactly that. I was thinking exactly, man, we could have had Hella, but that doesn't make sense for the story. But it's that. It's that vibe.
But
that Kate Blanchett, like actual stakes sort of.
Not to like totally be super internet about it, but Kate Blanchett understood like the role. She understood like what needed 100%. There. She hammed it up a little bit, like, you know, she understood the assignment. That was the word I was looking for.
Yeah, she was a villain. She brought us that drama,
and she still dies at the end. Drama. So like you can still have the villain like die at the end, but at least she was a threat, and she was presented as a threat from the get-go. Because here's the thing, from the beginning of the movie, we should have seen Dar-Ben like kicking Captain Marvel's ass, because we only get to see her punching Captain Marvel into the side of a mountain, which we never see happen to Captain Marvel, because she's super, she's been super OP. She's super resistant. Like even Thanos couldn't handle her. So this is a very strong superhero. And if Carol, this is my logic. If Carol fucking Danvers isn't like sweating when fighting this girl, I can't take this girl seriously. I really can't.
And when she did slap her into that mountain, I was like, oh shit. But like, I was kind of like, okay.
Exactly. But it was too late by then. It was already halfway through the movie. Like we should have seen that at the beginning. That should have like made Captain Marvel go, ooh.
Right, like, she's a threat.
This is a threat. I'm gonna have to team up with these girls. Like, these are the circumstances that would have, like, I think, motivated her and made the stakes a little bit higher for 100%. Her to go to that water planet. Then that would have made more sense. Like, why is she, gonna embarrass herself now? Because she's desperate. She's desperate for help, and which is not something that Carol Danvers likes to do. She does not like asking for help. This is just something that's part of her character, and it's done very well for her character. But I don't know. It's just, I think Dar-Ben could have been thrown in the Dar-Bin.
Oh, thrown in the trash bin, huh?
Well done.
You know what?
Well done.
Third act. I think that was the biggest problem. They finally focused on.
That's true.
Ronan dies in the same simplistic way, but we get to the third act and we get to this like focus on Dar-Ben. And it's finally focusing on Dar-Ben, and she floats into the air and explodes. Like, I just kind of, the final battle is not that long, which, by the way, the swapping with the power is so cool. Like, that was so well choreographed.
Delicious.
And really cool. But to have Dar-Ben just like levitate into the air and explode,
she really just went peace.
Just too much power, and I was like, all right, that's kind of weird. I thought maybe she was gonna go Super Saiyan Blue on their asses and just like start beating the crap out of them, and it was like, okay, now we really got to put our powers together to beat her. But yeah, we didn't.
It just kind of got resolved really quickly. And then the threat became the tear in time and space. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, how do we feel about that? Because I was like, we made a hard cut transition from it being about Dar-Ben to all of a sudden we got to close this hole in outer space.
We went from Dar-Ben to hole in space. Like, what's up? What's good?
Kind of just like
bit rough.
Happened. Yeah, it was like pretty rough.
I'll be honest. I think all of these elements like put together made for like it, because I'll admit it. Like I was having fun, but towards that third act, I kind of felt like we entered Saturday morning cartoon territory almost. Like, because that's kind of like what it felt was happening, where you just get like
a 20-minute episode. Yeah.
Oh, there's the big bad. Oh, they're gone. And there's a hole in space. Fix it. And it's just like that's what your
very Teen Titans.
You know what I mean? That's what your heroes do when you're eating cereal Saturday morning. You're just like, oh, oh, there's a hole in space, fix it. And you're like, it was just very rapid fire, and things just happened. I felt
It
like
didn't
that's
make
very much
sense
the
for a
energy.
feature.
Yeah, that was the energy for sure.
If only they called Gaia for help. Why don't they have Gaia and Captain Marvel on
I've
constant
had
speed dial?
enough. I have had
Hey,
enough.
she needed to give Darben them Drax arms. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not.
Well, let's talk about that ending, guys, because there's a lot of setup going on there with Kamala meeting up with Kate Bishop. I almost said Kate Blanchett. That would have been a completely different movie. But Kamala,
It's just Kate Blanchett as her from Tar.
oh wait, that was quite the battle between her and Michelle last year. But teasing Young Avengers, we got, of course, Kate Bishop, Kamala meeting. Kamala's putting a team together. Also, they mentioned Cassie from Ant-Man, so I'm going to assume they're probably going to recruit America as well, America Chavez. And I would think maybe I'm outside baseball here, but I would think Billy and Tommy, Patriot from the Falcon and Winter Soldier, Isaiah Bradley's grandson, and then who else am I leaving?
Ironheart,
Riri Williams,
Ironheart.
Riri.
Love her.
I think that's it. That'd be everybody. That'd be a hell of a team.
Oh yeah, and I really do love that they're handing the leadership to Kamala rather than America, like in the comics.
Yeah,
because MCU really just kind of shot the bed with America Chavez's introduction in the MCU. Like, it's just, I do not like the actress. I do not like what they did to her character. They completely whitewashed her. I've talked about this before. And she just does not have the same presence that Iman Vellani has, quite frankly. And I think Iman is going to kick it out of the park.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, movie better come out next year.
Ren is speaking facts. No, they're gonna become
it's gonna be a Stranger Things situation.
If they wait 3 or 4 years, they're gonna be way too old to be Young Avengers.
Young Avengers? Bro, you better get to your back stretches getting old.
Kate's 23, baby. Oh.
I was gonna say Kate is actually, she's totally woman status right now already. Like,
yeah, she is an adult. None of the Young Avengers are interesting to me, man. But the Young Avengers are gay, and that's what I want. That they are young, they're gay, they're fun. That's what I'm looking for. And if Iman is at the forefront, if Kamala Khan is at the forefront, and I'm happy.
I'm so happy for that.
I like it.
I can't wait, man. And we can't. Yelena's gonna be in the Thunderbolts, but I was like, snatch her ass up out of the damn Thunderbolts and get her in the Young Avengers too, because. Shit.
I was gonna say Yelena.
We are gonna lose.
Girl.
We are gonna lose Kate Bishop and America Chavez romance though, and I'm sad about it because that's something really prominent in the comics.
Yeah. Who knows what they'll do with it? Young Avengers.
What if a different version
very
of
excited.
Chavez comes in? Who? I would notice.
I feel the same way about Kang the Conqueror. So
I wouldn't blink. Oh, that's Kang? Okay, let's move it on.
They can explain these things
and we didn't blink. We did not bat an eye.
I was gonna say, especially Mark Ruffalo. Nobody thought twice about it. And how many people actually remembered the Incredible Hulk before they saw the Avengers, right? So
no. And you know what? Even a lot of times recasting, the people the new recast are more memorable. They end up being more memorable than they were OG.
I'm gonna be honest. I like Don Cheadle over Terrence Howard. I'm gonna be honest, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Next time, baby. Psych. Psych.
No, Peter Parker is not a Young Avenger. No, he is just an Avenger. That's just not. That's not how it works.
PP.
Pick it up with management.
Terrence Howard wasn't ready to be Iron Man.
No.
Spider-Man. Peter Parker, man. He works alone, people, or with Miles Morales, but. Sorry,
exactly.
Avengers.
He is very much a neighborhood.
Yeah, he's a neighborhood Spider-Man. Let him go be a neighborhood guy. Is she really on Dancing with the Champion?
Yes, she is, and apparently she's doing well.
Wow. Okay.
I hate this
today. I learned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, Tyler. No actual Avengers. I'm Kang, man. Yeah, well, they just recast it to be
Can you
Terrence Howard.
imagine?
Problem
He's
solved.
like flying down War Machine, man.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's wrap it
Let's
up,
do
y'all,
it.
with the post-credit. X-Men set up. Beast is in the house.
Let's go. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
look.
saw Loretto.
Loretto
from the
hype,
get-go.
Hype. And we've got Maria in this universe is binary. So how do you feel, Lo? I mean, we got X-Men right around the corner. Listen, we also got X-Men 97 around the corner. And this is setting up for X-Men to get
into
in
it.
pretty soon, man.
Get
How we feeling,
into
bro?
it.
The future of the MCU is upon us, and X-Men is involved.
I love it. I love
You know
it.
what's funny is like when that scene happened, and it's like, I didn't hear it, but in my head I heard. Na, 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 na. I was
Yes.
just like,
They did. They used a bit of the score. It's in the end credits.
in the end
Is it?
Look up the end. Go watch the movie again. Wait till the
Okay.
end credits because my boyfriend and I were looking for it, and they used a bit of the score from the OG X-Men movies. I think
Okay,
it's
maybe
from
I was-
X2.
maybe I
It's the
was too
score from
busy-
X2.
okay. Maybe I was too busy freaking out.
Yeah, same.
I need to watch it.
Fair. But after the freak out, we were like, okay, let's see, because you know how there's a part of the end credits where they show all the songs that they used.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The song from X2 was used.
Okay.
Mm.
I am
Mhm.
intrigued. See, now I got to see it again. I just have to now.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of
my
detail
God,
in it.
guys. Not only did he look amazing, we got the Charles reference, we got the door. Oh my God, I was losing my mind, you guys. I'm
Turn
trying to
it
remember.
up.
I can't remember the last time I was that excited over a post-credit scene. I'm trying to like think back, like, this is going
Man,
back to the glory
bef-
days, like the first time we
yeah.
saw Nick Fury. Like, I was so hyped. It's crazy. I was just like, I can't believe it, it's happening. Like, Steve
I'm
Carell.
honestly shocked that it was like Beast OG. Because I genuinely thought they were just kind of gonna like throw us with the first class Beast, But this
Oh, yeah.
is not Nicholas Hoult.
I appreciated that.
This is Daddy.
I appreciated that. And I mean, we should have known, but we already saw Professor X in Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
But this was equally
not the
as
same.
exciting and fun, and oh my God, it's happening! Like, this is
Mhm,
equally,
mhm.
hype, equally hype. So
Yeah, I mean, mutants are a long time coming in the MCU, and we've gotten it teased 1,000,001 times. And if you've seen the Miss Marvel series, you know that her being a mutant is teased as well. That's why she has like the powers that she does. Because I totally forgot about that. Because she was without the band, the quantum band, and she was still using her powers. And I'm like, wait a minute, and then I remembered why. So we've been waiting, and it's time. Our time is now.
And I think the best part about the cameo is that
It makes sense.
oh well, yeah, and you also get Kelsey Grammer in there. I'm like, the animated series, the way they're incorporating the animated series is so beautiful. I mean, they had the animated series Professor X's chair in Multiverse of Madness. So I'm like, they're really trying to hook that back in. And X-Men 97 is a continuation of that series. They're really trying to rope that back in here. And I think the setup is maybe that's who's coming into the MCU. I'm not sure, but maybe. Sounds like they really want to do something with that X-Men animated property. And
I kind of feel like they understand the audience, because I mean, look at me. Look, they understand.
And let's think about it. Like early
important this
2000s, the X-Men trilogy was what really like rocket launched this genre as a whole, as a mainstream blockbuster alongside the Spider-Man movies. Like we're going back to that. I think it's a great way to battle the fatigue.
Oh, 100%. You'll get back to like a few a year and kind of wind down a little bit on like the 7-8 movies a year and 4 or 5 TV shows.
There's only one
Gotta
movie
slow
coming
down.
next year, right? It's just Deadpool 3.
Yep, just Deadpool. But I think there's a lot of shows.
I think that's fine.
And I also think 2025, there's no way all that's coming out that year. I think something's gonna get pushed back. They're gonna have to clean that up. There's like, I think there was 4 movies on the docket.
I mean, the strike's
25, right?
over
Yep.
now, so I would assume that they're going to go back to the drawing board and actually like hash things out, because the MCU also, and as the rest of the industry, haven't experienced like the most ideal circumstances as well. To be fair, like yes, it doesn't excuse like poor storytelling, but there have been external causes help factor in.
Yeah, I think we got to go back to some glory days soon here. It seems like Captain America 4 is getting completely reshot, honestly. They talk about 8 months of reshoots. I was like, oh, so y'all redoing
That's a
the
new movie. That's just a new movie.
Y'all redoing the movie, basically. So probably for the best. Lots of problems around that one anyway. But guys, this has been a wonderful discussion. Thank you so much for coming on with me today, talking the Marvel spoilers. Ileana, appreciate you. Great having you back. Let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up on your platforms.
You can find me at Captain Melendez on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Instagram. And you can find my show, Film Talk, that's FILMME Talk, on YouTube and Spotify, wherever else you watch your podcast. And what's coming up? Probably something soon. We've kind of had a bit of a hiatus this year, but I'm definitely excited to come back and talk a bit more of what's coming up, because there's quite a few movies for the rest of the year that have my attention, and I've been itching to talk about them.
Yeah, I feel like we're right around the corner from like a slew of movies. Like we got
Hunger
Games still, we
got
Poor Things, all this stuff just right around the corner. And I'm like, all right.
End of the year is looking very, very like it's a heavy platter.
Packed. Yeah, it's looking packed. I'm like, how am I gonna get through all this? But Loretto, let us know, man, where we can find you. What's coming up on your platforms, man?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. I'm a proud editor, reviewer, and critic of The Cinema Spot. Check us out on all socials at The Cinema Spot or at thecinemasspot.com. We have a brand new review for Killers of the Flower Moon and Eileen. I actually forgot to mention that last week. Eileen, starring Thomas McKenzie and Anne Hathaway. We have a non-spoiler review for both of those. Check it out. And also, it's a little bit whiles back. We also have a review for Exorcist Non-Believer. Lots of great stuff on the site. Check us out at thecinemasspot.com.
Guys, go check them out at The Cinema Spot. Sounds like you grubbing over there, bro. Y'all got some stuff coming out. Okay, let's do this. But we've got Torrin here. Happy Diwali. That's awesome. Wonderful little holiday, little Hindu holiday here. So awesome. Happy Diwali. And yeah, man, Lo, it's great to have you on again. Ileana, great to have you on again. Y'all, come on over to Geekly Goods and Geekly Goods Live. So we're double streaming right now. So subscribe to both channels. Tomorrow, me and Loretto will be talking news. We got a lot to talk about, guys, especially that Marvel schedule change. Big stuff going on there. And the end of the SAG-AFTRA strike, guys. Thank goodness we finally have crossed the river, guys. We've done it. Over 100 days of striking, but we're finally there. So tune into that tomorrow at 7 p.m. PT, guys, and we'll see you next time on Geekly Goods. Peace.